So many people who want the gift, who wants the money, who wants the things that the material things that come with the gift, but they're not willing to put in the work in order to get it. They're not willing to look at themselves in order to get it. Sometimes other people isn't the problem. It's not other people aren't the problem. Sometimes it's you. Sometimes you're the problem. Sometimes the way you think about situations is the problem. Sometimes the way you handle situations is the problem. Everybody else isn't the problem all the time. A lot of people are not self-aware. A lot of people cannot self-reflect, and they hate to be held accountable for what it is that they've done or what it is that they've said, and they have a hard time looking at themselves to make sure that what they think is actually what's being done. I've been there. I've been there. I've been somebody that had a victim mindset. I know what that's like, and I know how to deal with it. I've always been somebody that was very self-reflective, and I had to understand that just because you've seen something happen one way or you've seen something happen a multitude of ways, that does not mean that is always what's happening. Pattern recognition can be a hell of a drug. It can be a hell of a thing to get stuck in when you're not careful. And a lot of people are not careful. A lot of people don't know how to be careful. A lot of people don't care to be careful. Once they see something one way, they're stuck in seeing it that way forever. And again, that's not always the case. Ooh, I don't know. This over some ice. That over some ice actually might hit. That over some ice actually might be hit. My bad. And so that's what I've been going through. I've been doing a lot of self-reflecting. Because I've seen certain things happen before, or I've seen certain people do certain things, it's easy to get wrapped up in what you think is happening. But just because you think it doesn't mean it's true. I used to be scared to offend people because I grew up with people around me who told me that I was harsh or that I was rude or that I was mean in my delivery, when in all actuality the problem was they couldn't take accountability because I never said anything in a way I wouldn't want it said to me unless I got fed up with that person, and then I'm giving it raw, unfiltered, you feel me, I'm putting it all on the table. Obviously nobody else has ever addressed you in this manner, so I have to do it. I have to be the one. Nobody's told it to you straight, who it is that you are and what it is that you look like and what it is that you're doing. They've allowed you to skate. I'm not going to allow you to skate. In order to be around me, you can't skate. You don't get to skate. You don't get to skate because I don't allow myself to skate. I think about every action that I take before and after I've taken it, not in a hyper vigilant type of way or hyper focused type of way, just to make sure that I know that the energy that I project, the energy that I'm putting out, is going to be what's returned to me. So I look at every situation in my life as a reflection of something that I have going on in myself. What is it in me that I need to heal in order to stop attracting these type of people? What is it in me that I need to heal in order to attract different people to me, or be in a different situation, or see this situation differently? What is it that's going on inside of me that I need to that's currently being reflected to me in my environment, currently being reflected to me in the people that are around me, or how people are addressing me, or how people are reacting to me? Not in a way that I'm doing something wrong on the outside, but what is it that I'm doing to myself, or what way is it that I'm thinking that needs to be changed in order for that to be reflected in my environment? Because you can be in a healthy environment and be a hostile person. So you think everybody is out to get you. You think that everybody is doing something to you. That's not always the case. The problem is you. The problem is you. And a lot of people have a hard time thinking that the problem is them. There are people who will set off a situation or create a hostile environment for themselves and get mad at the people around them for responding in the way that they're acting. If that makes sense. So if you come into a situation and you automatically think that people are out to get you, then they're going to step back from you. They're going to adjust themselves accordingly. Because not everybody's willing to walk on eggshells, and most people, or most healthy people, understand that I don't have to deal with you in the way that you want me to just because that's what you want. You don't always get what you want. And so that's something that I've been teaching my daughter, because my daughter is one who is in that phase. She's 3. She's in the phase where I want it. She's in that I want it phase. And I'm teaching her as proactively as I can that not everything you want, one, is good for you. Not everything you want are you going to get. And there's a certain behavior to get what you want. You stomping and screaming and throwing a tantrum is not going to get you what you want. You fussing and yelling is not going to get you what you want. And so we're often having a standoff, because I'm also very big on allowing my children in general to stand in who they are. So I don't run an authoritative household. I do allow them to debate about certain things, but when it's not a debate, there's a time and a place. So not all the time are we debating. Sometimes you're going to do what I say because I say to do it, and I don't have to explain it to you. Because the world is not always going to give you an explanation. And I make it my business to let them know that you don't always have to make an explanation for the world. If somebody does something to you, you don't have to overthink that. You don't have to take it personally. You don't have to make it into something that it's not. Sometimes people just having a bad day. Sometimes they're going through their own thing, and you took something out of context. So my son is already showing me the improvement of it, or showing me that works, because have been a lot of situations where, even though sometimes Kyrie is the antagonist, okay, because he doesn't pick up on social cues very well, especially when it's like a passive aggressive cue. So a child just not including him, or like a little girl that's like being rude to him. I have been raising him with sisters, so I've raised him to be a gentleman, but I'm also having to raise him to understand that you can stand up for yourself against women as well. You don't let a little girl talk to you out the side of her neck. She don't put her hands on you, none of that stuff. And Kayani's not at an age right now where I can say, go get your sister, but that will be on the table. But Kyrie has shown me that my teachings are working. So it's not often that he takes what another child does personally, unless it's like it really hurts his feelings. I've been teaching him that not everybody is going to be your friend, and not everybody should be your friend. That, when somebody is a negative influence on you, you don't be friends with people who tell you to do bad things. If you know you're not supposed to do it, you don't hang with people who tell you to. That's a bad friend. If it's a lot. Actually, raising children is a lot. But I will get my children far, far, far away from bad friends. I don't care. I don't care how nobody else feels. If your child is cussing, if your child is rude, if your child is mean, if your child is overly aggressive, my children cannot hang with your children. They are incarnate beings of love. They are love incarnate. That's what I've raised them to know. They are love incarnated. That's what I tell them every night. They're love incarnated. So if your child is a demon, In any capacity of the word, my child cannot hang with your child. They will know how to defend themselves and take up for themselves. That is true. But what we're not going to do is I'm not going to constantly put them around children who will make them overly aggressive or have them on high alert all the time. No. Negative. And that's been a very, very big thing for us. Then, again, back to the previous conversation. There are children that I'm not big on hanging with people who are not self-aware. If you always find yourself in a situation where you feel like other people always got a problem with you, then maybe you need to look at yourself. Maybe there's something that you're doing that is genuinely the problem. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, because I always go back to the person first. What are you doing? What have you done? Because a lot of people think that certain stuff go under the radar, like they'll be done said something or did something sneakily, thinking they're getting away with it, not knowing that everybody has intuition. Everybody has intuition. Yes, that's not something that's, special to a certain type of people. Everybody has intuition. Not everybody listens, but everybody has it. So you're never really getting away with anything. And if people can read energy well, if the people around you read energy well, it's easy to tell. I'm somebody that reads energy well. And I can get a lot of information out of a little bit. But I'm also somebody that analyzes what my mind goes to first, because I know where I've come from. And so I know the type of bias that can be on what it is that I'm thinking. But for the most part, I read people very well. And for that reason, a lot of people don't like to hang with me or be around me for extended periods of time, because I don't play the victim mindset. I'm not going to allow you to be a victim. I'm always gonna ask you the follow-up questions. And a lot of people don't like that. They like to sit and wallow. They like to, have it be everybody else's fault. It's not always everybody else's fault. Actually, it's barely ever everybody else's fault. What are you doing? What could you be doing for yourself? You are upset with somebody for not doing something for you, but what could you have done for yourself? You're upset because you have to wait for somebody else to do it for you, but what could you have done for yourself? One thing that I've learned in my little bit of 29 years is that a lot of the goals that people put 3 to 5 years out, they can accomplish in a year. If they really sat down with themselves, stop distracting themselves, stop allowing themselves to be distracted, stop putting everything before the goal, it'd be easy for you to accomplish certain things in a shorter amount of time. You just gotta want to do it. And wanting to do it looks like discipline. Wanting to do it looks like being able to cut out the things that you're not supposed to be doing. No matter what the thing is. Even if that's scrolling Facebook at night, that's the time you're supposed to be sleeping. Sleep runs everything. If you're not sleeping good, you're probably not going to eat good. Your mood's probably not going to be good. None of that stuff. All of that falls in line. And you can do certain things to get the sleep that's necessary. But I have to know you don't. Set a 8 o'clock bedtime, 9 o'clock bedtime. Get up 5, 6 o'clock. Boom. Well, I don't. Excuses. Me. For the last 2 weeks, my children have not been on their schedule. I just been allowing shit to slide. I just have not been in the mental space to keep our routine. And I've picked that up. But that's nobody else's fault but mine. It would be easy for us to on the days we can't take showers, I can make sure they have a wash up around the same time they take their shower, get dressed, go get in the bed, read our book, talk about our day, boom, we sleep no matter what. But I've been allowing them to get to start. They've been going to bed at 11 o'clock at night. 10 to 11 o'clock at night. Well, normally they in the bed 8:30, 9 o'clock. And I can't blame that. So now we're tired as we're going into our day because they've been going to bed at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. Now we're waking up tired because we're up by 6 o'clock. And everybody's grumpy. I can't blame them for that. I can't get frustrated with them for that. I can't get upset for them having meltdowns and things of that nature, because I know if we were on routine, if I kept us on routine, those things would not happen. So I'm having to bite the consequences of me not sticking to our routine, me not making us stick to our routine. Because a lot of parents do not think about that. They think that their children should just be able to get with the program, and that's not the case. You are the program. You are the programmer. So if you're not running your program the way it's normally ran, and your children are exhausted and melting down and having a fit and tantrum every 25 seconds, and you're losing your mind on them for it, you cannot blame the kids. It's not the kids. It's not the kids. It's you. So when my children have been having their meltdowns, I have to regulate myself extra, because I am tired, because I am a little burnt out, because I am a little stressed out. I have to make sure that I'm regulating myself first in the moment. And that's been, I've slipped up, especially over the last few days. I've slipped up with my attitude when it came to my daughter, especially because she's normally my more emotional child, my more sensitive child. And sometimes it's hard for me to regulate in the moment. And so I've been having to be very real with myself about what's happening in real time, so that I'm able to get down to her level and tell her, like, I apologize, mommy shouldn't have said that, or I apologize, mommy shouldn't have yelled at you, you didn't deserve that. Give her a hug, because she's my affectionate child. She needs the connection before correction. And sometimes when I'm overstimulated and I'm not in the mood to be touched, I have a hard time remembering that she needs the hug first. Kyrie is the child that wants to go. He likes to process his feelings by himself first, and then he'll come back and he'll talk to me. And Tunkie also, Kalia is also one who needs the love first. And so I've been learning a lot about myself through the process that we're currently going through this season of my life. I'm not as patient as I thought I was with certain things. I have a hard time relying on others, because one little thing I've learned for me, one little thing can just make me not trust you easy. Once I feel like I have to beg for the assistance, or I gotta beg for help, or I gotta constantly remind you to do certain stuff, then I pull away, and I'm gonna see what I can do for myself before I ask you to do anything for me. And so I'm working on that, because I know that God is calling me into a season of my life where I will have support, but I have to be accepting of the support that is being provided. I've been doing a lot of self-reflecting, and I feel like this week right here I'm going to be doing a lot of writing. I'm going to be making more videos, long-form videos, because because I have a lot to say. I have a lot to say, and I haven't felt comfortable saying it for a while. But then I realized on YouTube you can really talk about anything. You can talk about anything, and I have a lot to talk about, actually, when it comes to people's illusions about reality. Because there are always, everybody says there's two sides to a story, but really there's 16. And not everybody is going to have the same version of the story. And that's just facts. People look at things through their own projections, reflections, trauma experiences, all of that stuff. And those are things that I've already known, but never things that I actually applied to my life. And that's what I've been doing, applying it to my life. So I can feel the that frontal lobe developing more and more.